to you, and assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thanks to my colleague, Minister Khalid, for bringing us together at a very critical time and at the beginning of a year of hope, a year of opportunity, but also a year of unrealized potential that we heard a little bit about from him, about doubling almost the kingdom's mineral resources. So I congratulate him on that. You know, at the end of the day, accessing the minerals, the critical materials that we need for what we know to be a historical challenge for humanity, which is the energy transition, is going to be underpinned by resources. It's going to be underpinned by collaborations across countries and geographies, companies, people, technologies, institutions, different sectors. And going back to resources, and we heard about how the kingdom has been able to harness its resources as well as explore them in the case of minerals, this so-called super region from Central Asia all the way through the Middle East to Africa is already known to have at least a third of the global resource base. And that's with under-exploration being a characteristic. So going back to the analogy of Saudi Arabia, I think we could increase that significantly. But not only is it underexplored, it's underinvested in terms of infrastructure, in terms of mining capabilities, in terms of deployment of technology, and in terms of access to finance. I say this while we've heard all morning that the demand on materials is going to be a multiple of what it is today. And add to this something that hasn't been mentioned sufficiently, I think, today, is that a lot of the existing production facilities will either decline because of depletion and resource declining, or because it is not acceptable from a sustainability and environmental standpoint, or because of over-concentration in certain geographies, whether it's in the upstream or the processing. So that tells you that the incremental demand, the incremental investment, the incremental technologies, and the effort to meet this inevitable challenge that we have to meet is quite frankly unprecedented in my lifetime. And it is not something that this industry, whether it's from government or private sector, that are with us in the audience and in the panel can meet alone. I think it's a challenge for the global community to come together. And it's going to require working across borders, especially in this super region, to access what is somewhere between a third and half of the world's critical materials. It's going to require deploying the kind of sustainable technologies from energy to logistics to processing to recycling, the kind of circularity that Prince Abdulaziz talked about in the area of energy is going to also have to be deployed in a big way from consumption all the way back to upstream. It's going to require to undo and reverse what you talked about in your opening remarks, which is that the industry is getting a bad rap, ironically, while the industry is really the underpinning for meeting the challenge that we have to meet. That means exciting the research institutions, exciting the young people, bringing the latest technology, and I think most importantly, bringing the finance into the industry. And I will end at this. We're going to need trillions of dollars in the next couple of decades to go into the industry to meet the reshaping of the global supply chain. And I believe that the kingdom is going to be at the heart of this. We're going to be leading this. Within the super region, I like to think of the kingdom as a connector, connecting countries that are today challenged with finance, challenged with logistics, being landlocked in Central Asia, but also our brothers and sisters in Africa who also have their own challenges in accessing all of this. I think the kingdom can be a connector. I think the kingdom can be a partner, not can be, but will be a partner to countries in the region. And our, of course, private sector, who is with us in strength, is willing and able to partner with the companies from around the world to come and turn this resource base into a great enabler, not only for development of the countries of the region, which is paramount to people like me who are in public policy positions, but it's also paramount to the global community as we look to energy transition. I think in addition to what has been said, our biggest challenge as a humanity is short-termism. Everybody is trying to look at the next year, the next quarter, at most the next couple of years. And this is an industry that works in decades, and it's an industry that must do what it has to do with other industries, other partners for humanity, without exaggeration, to survive. Risk aversion is related to this, and I think our industry, this industry, is full of risks, technology risks, project risks, and of course geopolitical risk. What we're doing through this platform, through this gathering today, is trying to reduce those risks, trying to connect, integrate this super region, bring in the global industry, bring in global leading nations, like we have with us on the panel today in the case of the United States, the UK in the previous panel, China, I might add, all important countries in this global economy have to work together to bring the materials that will sustain a population that is going to be 10 billion in a few decades in the 2050s, and many of them will be living in and around the super region.